So today we're trimming and we're doing floor trim, and you're gonna need a pencil, you're gonna need a chop saw, you're gonna need a tape measure, and you're going to need a nailer with nails that, I'll just show you those nails. They're about that long, okay? You can actually use shorter nails as well for your trim, but that's what we have for today. So we're gonna go ahead and show you how this is done. So the first thing, we're gonna do the big long. Anytime you are, and so we got a mess in here, you should clean up first, but we either throw all this in there for the rain. So now I'm just gonna cut it and get it out of our way, and then I'll clean up. But you measure the long walls first. You put on the long ones first. Why? Because you start with long and you go shorter, then you'll have all these little short pieces that you can put in those short spots whenever you get there. So start with your long pieces. Now this chop saw only goes this direction. So when I'm trying to make a cut, like for example, this one right here is gonna be a cut because it'll be on that big long wall, and then there'll be a little tiny piece at the end. So I'm gonna turn it over just like this, and it kind of angles down like that, so just angle it up flat. And then go ahead and cut that very end right there. Now, we've went ahead and set that little dolly up over there to kind of use as a stand to hold things, so there we go. We already had some extra floor trim that was sitting away from an old project, and we're just gonna use that old trim in this new project. And so this is not really a wet area in here, so we're not gonna put any caulk or anything. But if you're in a bathroom or something like that, oh wow, I didn't even realize. That's gonna fit perfectly like that. Didn't even know that. Too short. But if you're in a bathroom, okay, so if we're trimming in a bathroom, let me just give you something for example. If you're in a bathroom, you wanna have something like this, like some silicone. Now this gray silicone is to kind of match this flooring. But what I like to do is, in wet areas, I like to actually come in here and actually seal up all the cracks, even behind the trim, so that if any water comes and soaks in here, it won't rot your floors out. So I'll put some there, but there, I'm putting it all around the sink here, all behind the toilet, in this whole bathroom, because you will get some water more in this bathroom than you will in any other location. So that's important. This is concrete under this flooring, so I'm not that worried about it. But just know that if you're in a bathroom, before you put the trim down, put some good silicone caulk just to seal stuff up. When you're using a nailer like this, another thing you're gonna need to have is have some extra nails. So we've got these pass load 2.5 inch 16 gauge nails. This is a finished nailer, and so just make sure you have those on hand, because you're going to need quite a few of these when you're doing your trim work. Go ahead and put that in your finished nailer, close it. This does not have to be oiled, this gun doesn't. So another thing, when you get to the edge here, you'll notice if you push it all the way in real far, sometimes there may be more of a gap right here that's further than the wall. So just make sure when you put it in, just put one little nail, one little tack nail right there. Because the main point is to come in and put that piece on this side. You may have to move that in or whatever, so just tack it in place first. And then at the very end, we'll come and finish it all out with nails. Now this side right here, I didn't realize it was gonna actually fit this well. I thought I was gonna have a little piece over here, because I didn't even really measure it. So we're gonna come over here and do the same thing on this side, push it all the way in. Yeah, we'll still need a little piece right there possibly, so that's fine. Always consider when you are doing trim like this, you're gonna make sure that you need to hit the 2x4s under that wall. And so you can hear, there's nothing behind there. But when you get right here, there's a 2x4. Why? Another way you can find 2x4s is every plug typically will have a 2x4 by the plug box. And you just need to know which side of that plug box the 2x4 is on typically. They also have little beep, 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 beep tools that'll detect frequencies in the wall. You can use that. But typically you want to put your nail wherever those 2x4s are coming up. So this 2x4 is coming up right here. And so see how it really pulled that in? So anytime you're doing your trim, try to nail your 2x4s that are in the wall. In the corner here you'll notice 2x4s are tipped real close to that corner. So that's how you would do that as well. So when I'm trimming in the bathroom, I do always want to take some caulk, siding trim, gray, ultra dynamic, or you could just use some regular silicone. And you just want to kind of go around your toilet area. Go ahead and take out your old, you know, some of this old stuff, because you're going to be putting in something new here. So then go ahead and just caulk around this toilet, because if there's any water that leaks out of this toilet, you really don't want it going under your floors where you don't know there's a leak. You really want that water to go on top of the floor so you'll know there's a leak and it won't go ahead and rot everything else out. Same thing on these corners here, like before you put your trim on, you know, you really want to, any of your water, you don't want it going down and ruining your wood floors underneath. You want that water to stop, you know, because you're going to come in here and you're going to take showers. You want that water to be wiped up or whatever. So people wonder, how can you use a coping saw to make trimming more easy? But basically you cut a 45 on your trim. So go ahead and take your trim, cut your 45 like this, right? Zzz. Then what you can do is you can get that saw, but if you have one of these little oscillating tools, these little oscillating tools work really well for that as well. You can take your blade and you just follow this paint line right here all the way to the top. You kind of cut, as slow as you can, cut backward a little bit. So I mean, it's not going to be as smooth as one of those scroll saws, but if it's the only thing you have and you forgot your scroll saw, you can do it that way, and look, it'll feed together just as well. You can go ahead and move on with your project. And yeah, so there it goes. Looks nice.